All right, there we go. Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another podcast on the CIRCE_GG Twitch channel. Episode 2. I am here once again, for better or for worse, with my good friend Khalyx.
Hello, everyone.
And we have cyberbullied another person from the CIRCE server into being on this thing. Mace, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So for today, we were just going to kind of talk about a few things to do with the kind of games we play. And I think the main focus for today was going to be kind of a bit less of what we play and a bit more of why we play. So the idea of, like, why every day when you turn your computer on in the morning do you click that application versus a different one? Like, why do you launch, I don't know, Terraria over something like No Man's Sky? Like, what's the kind of motivation behind launching your specific game, and why does it matter? So I think to take a step back though first, Mace, just for anybody that might not know, who the hell are you?
I am the entry fragger duelist player for the CIRCE Valorant team. Yeah, I'm 20 and I'm from the UK.
Nice, a fellow UK brother. That's 2 weeks in a row now that I've got somebody from the British Isles.
Yeah,
this is actually it's my secret to just keep this as UK based as possible.
Wow. Okay.
Just so
hard luck with me being German. So
I'll allow you. You're the bypass. You're the bypass.
I'm the token foreigner. I see.
Yeah, okay. We have a quota to meet.
Wow.
But yeah, no. So being, a Valorant player and a Valorant team is obviously going to be quite a, how do I describe this, interesting endeavor, especially since it's a new kind of esport. A lot of people will have experienced that with other games, like when Overwatch came out, or with like some other more brooding titles in the esports scene at the moment. So just as a general overview, do you have any kind of main reason that you really like Valorant over any other games?
Yeah. I've played Overwatch for about since release, really, since beta. And I really did enjoy it, and I enjoyed the team aspect of Overwatch. But it eventually got really stale for me, to be honest, and I don't think it was balanced great. And about a year before Valorant's release, I started playing CS, and I put about 1,500 hours in about a year. So wow. I basically quit Overwatch, no life CS, and then Valorant came out, and it was like the perfect love child, I guess. And I don't know, it just fits how I want to play the comm style that I've been used to, and I'm more of more of a secondary caller. I'm not the IGL of the team, but I was IGLing in Overwatch, so I have a lot of comms experience and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then playing CS for over a year, I got level 10 face it, and I got to global and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm actually all right at it, which I didn't expect I didn't expect to be good at it or not. So considering it's been out for 7 years, longer than that, actually, it's 8 years now. So,
I just CS:GO as well.
I mean, yeah, CS:GO is an old, or CS as a game itself is really
20
old.
years old. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Source and 1.6 have been out for 20 years, and yeah, But I only recently started playing CS:GO really, a year and a half ish ago, and I stopped playing. Well, I was still playing Overwatch at the time, and I was still scrimming, but I wasn't playing outside of scrims. I was, and
But why do you guys, like we said at the beginning, why do you guys turn on your PC to play video games? Why not go for go play basketball?
I've just always I've always kind of gone towards that, even as a kid. I'd play Pokemon or something, right? Take my DS under the bed sheets when my mum went looking at night.
Oh god, that kind of person.
Look in the Pokemon Emerald right at night, and no, but it's something that I don't know. I've always just preferred doing, and then I've always been more competitive with it too. Even like when I'd play like with my like IRL friends when I was younger, with like stuff like Rocket League and stuff like that, I would always like have more of a competitive drive than them. And I think they'd kind of find that a bit unfun sometimes when I was like the one like trying.
Oh god, yes, yeah.
And they were like the ones like wanting to play fucking hide and seek lobbies and stuff, you know? Like I've always like edged towards that.
Yeah, I've always had that with my friends as well, because they're not like, you know, I don't know, serious gamers is maybe a bit overdone, but like whenever it's like, oh, we want to have some fun and play some games, it'd always be me getting tilted because we're not trying, and it's same. Like I'm just full raging because I don't know something or other, and it's not working out how I wanted it to be, like regardless of winning or losing, right? But it's not like a competitive experience. And anything outside that, I don't know, I don't really enjoy that much, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Like, especially Valorant, because we play a lot of Valorant, and anytime we, just get into a lobby and everybody just has a bunch of fun, and I'm like sitting there molding, like, I'm not playing well, and it's like...
Yeah, I think like, when I'm like... I think the reason I'm motivated is just, I started watching like esports years ago. I don't really know when. I think it was with Rocket League, actually. I started with like... This was ages ago. I was playing on console. Didn't even have a PC at the time.
Is Rocket League that old already?
It's like...
Rocket League was
like 7 years old, right?
It was 2015.
6 years old, yeah.
I feel old.
I know, it's ridiculous. And I used to watch that, and I loved watching it. And then I started watching stuff like CS, and I never used to play it, but I loved watching CS. And then Overwatch as well, and I got really into everything, and and then I was like, you know what, I want to do something similar, and I want to actually push myself for something like that. And that's kind of what this is as well. The fact that this is a new game, and I feel like I have the most chance to like push myself in this. That's like my motivation more than anything, I think. Like the competitive drive to go into the pro scene. Like if I could get myself on a LAN, obviously not while COVID's happening, but like that's like my like kind of motivation, I think.
Just self-improvement.
Yeah, and yeah, I would love to be on stage, I guess.
Oh yeah,
and play on stage. That's the dream.
Yeah.
Peach, what about you?
I think I differ slightly because
why are you a Destiny warlord? Tell us.
Listen. Destiny is a different one. I'm a Destiny warlord because I'm hopelessly addicted. It's like cocaine. If I wanted to stop, I couldn't. But like in general, I think I was of that mentality of like I want to play to be good at the game. And again, I'm even now I am still the same as you, Khalyx, where it's like even if I'm down in like a Valorant lobby or a CS lobby, even if I'm down like 8 rounds, like if I'm 5-15, I'm annoyed. Like I don't care about the score. If I'm getting crapped on, like I'm annoyed. And that's not even something necessarily of me being like I want to be good. I just don't want to be bad. But I think generally for games right now, I'm more so in the camp of like, I want to be good at this, but not necessarily be good at this as in like, I want to be the best. Like, if I want to be good at Overwatch, I don't want to be good at Overwatch to be an Overwatch League player. Like, I want to be good at Overwatch where I can do anything, I can play anything, I can be put in any situation, and I can hold my own. Because it then means that I can pretty much gain enjoyment from anything. And it works with games like Destiny, if it's like a PvE game, or it works with games like Overwatch, which are PvP, or even kind of mixes of both. Even things like, like survival games and shit. Something like a Minecraft or like The Forest or whatever, where it's like, I want to know as much as I can know so that no matter what situation I end up stumbling into because I'm stupid, I still have a kind of pipeline of, oh, okay, here's how I can enjoy this. Like if I get, in Minecraft, if like my base blows up, I'm like, right, well, at least I know, like I have this, and this. I can go and do this, and then I can start rebuilding again.
It's like
I realize it's not their example. I realize it's
the example is like my base blows up. Yeah, I forgot some TNT next to a lava pit. Like what?
No, it was more of like okay, well I still have like my pickaxe and my shovel. I'm just gonna go mine for some more iron. And then, like, I don't know, make like a bunch of axes and then just burn an entire forest to the ground in like an hour and a half with just a bunch of iron axes and build a new house. That's a weird example, but you generally get the point of like, I want to have as much experience and as much knowledge as possible to where I can stem entertainment from anywhere, whether it's fucking around in a Valorant lobby, no scoping a sheriff, or not a sheriff, what's it called? The Marshal?
Marshal, yeah.
Yeah, like no scoping a Marshal down mid, or like if I'm playing, I don't know, Hades, and like trying to go for a no death flawless from start to finish. Like regardless of what the situation or scenario is, like I want to have as much knowledge as I can so that I can enjoy it as much as possible regardless of the circumstance.
Yeah, I agree. Like I fully like. I think with most games, I think with anything, I'm not having fun if I'm not playing well. Like I don't know why. That's just how it's always been, and like.
Yeah.
Even with like I said with Pokemon, which was as a kid I played that like just for fun, right? Just to play the games. Then like now I find myself playing like competitively with it sometimes. Like I go into VGC and stuff, and I love playing the format. And like it's stupid, but that's just what I like doing.
Yeah. No, I've always felt that whenever I play a game that is PvP or multiplayer in some sense, whether it's like I don't play Apex seriously, right? But it's still not fun if I'm not fragging, for example, right? Same goes with COD. Like it's just I don't play it a lot, but it's just not fun if I'm not doing well. That unless I'm playing something that is like Minecraft, some story game, something that is completely unrelated to other people. I cannot like just play games to relax and have fun. Like it's really just competitive 100, and I feel like in my entire life it's like it has kind of formed into this where I can put all my competitive energy into video games and FPS specifically, or Overwatch specifically, and leave my competitive aspect outside of other parts of my life, which has made my hobbies a lot more enjoyable, I feel like, at least. And like I can actually do the hobbies to just chill and have fun. And then when I want to, be competitive, I just go into Overwatch and grind ladder, and then that's fine.
I feel like as well that stems from like you can get that kind of feeling of I'm doing well in a different way. And this is kind of how I've slowly started to deviate, where like you were saying, even if you're playing something like COD, if you're not, blazing out of your mind, dropping 50 bombs, you're not enjoying it. I feel like my sense of enjoyment comes from feeling like I accomplished something. And that doesn't necessarily mean dropping like a lot of kills or like winning the game or doing good. Because like one example I'd say is I am horrendously bad at CS and I hate the game. Subjectively, I think CS is a great game and I have absolutely no dismay against anybody that plays it. But I hate it with all my heart and soul.
It's just not your thing, right?
Yes, I am ass at it. But what I love to do is anytime my friends bully me into playing CS, I'm like, right, I am going to buy nothing but pistols. I am going to then afford an op, and I am going to swing mid and ruin some poor Ukrainian boy's day. That's all I'm gonna do. I just want to buy it up. I want to swing mid, and I just want to smash kids. That's all I want to do.
Mate, if Simple was watching this podcast, he'd be shaking right now. Peach is going to replace him.
I
the Ukrainian boy on the other team. It's Simple, and he's getting fucking out-orped by Peach.
Nice.
No, like, that is what I do. I genuinely don't think I've purchased an automatic weapon in CS in my last 10 games. All I do is buy snipers and just go mid, because that's all I enjoy doing, because I just enjoy like using the snipers. Like the op or the, I can never remember which one's the sniper and which one's the assault rifle.
The
SG is the sniper? And the SSG is the AR?
SSG is the Krieg, which is the AR, and the one with the scope, and then the Marshal, not the Marshal, I'm fucking Valorant. The Scout is the SG, the Scout.
Yeah, so SS is the automatic one. All right, but yeah, all I do is just buy pistols, and then if we're losing, I buy an SG. If we're winning, I buy an op, and I just go mid. That's all I do. And if I get a kill, I can be 1-9. If I get a kill with that op, I feel good about myself. I'm like, yes,
you're nuts.
Let's go.
And with me, it's like we get like my friends, we 5-stack into some Valorant lobby. Doesn't matter if it's unrated or rated, right? And I start off like it's the what are they called? Agent select screen, right? And I'd be like, okay, we need a sentinel, we need a controller, and then be like, everybody picks what they want to pick now. I'm like, but we don't have and everybody's just saying, just pick what the fuck you want and play the game. And I'm like, nah.
I'm like that in rank now. Like, I just tell people to pick what they want. Like, don't worry about the comp because it's ranked. Even in like Immortal Radiant, right? It doesn't matter. Like you can win with anything. It doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't.
But that's like my Overwatch kind of, my Overwatch mindset to be like, oh, we need to have enough flashes, enough smokes, and then have positions set up like you always go there, and then everybody's just rando doing stuff and running down stupid angles, and I'm cringing and not having a good time. So that's a bit sad about.
That's just ranked though, right? Ranked experience.
Yeah, that description is just me. Like I mentioned this earlier. I didn't want to say it to them because I wanted to wait until we were like recording and live and stuff. So I played a Valorant game earlier today. This is my first Valorant game, and I think about 10 months.
Oh my god.
And when I tell you, right, that I genuinely had no idea what I was looking at for half the time. Like the last character I remember them adding was Reyna. That was the last new character that I knew. So they were like, my team was picking, and I was like, all right, I see all these symbols are different, but I don't know what you're supposed to have more of. Like, do you remember pre-222 where you would have like 2 tanks, 2 supports, and 2 DPS, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had like 2 DPS, a support, and a tank, and I'm like, so do I pick? Do I like? It was the decision was, do I pick Sage or Brimstone here? Because I was like, do I want to pick someone with lots of cover, or do I want to pick Sage? Because I know a lot of people say you have to have a Sage.
No, I ended up going with old Sage. Meta. Unlucky.
I ended up going with Sage.
Yeah, that's like beta meta.
It was definitely a learning curve. I think at round 4 I was 3-1. Then by round 10 I was 3-11.
Nice.
So you got 3 on the pistol, and then nothing after that.
Then by the half, I think I was like 5-11. Then by the end of the game, I was 13-13.
I mean, that's not you take those,
including a 1v4, which I was very proud of. Even though they solo pushed me like a bunch of absolute morons, it was the height of them being stupid and misplaying massively. Like, I take about 10% credit for it, but I still won all 4 of the games.
That's how you win a clutch, though. Like, you can't win a clutch if they're playing perfectly. Like,
but they weren't even playing good.
But even then, right? Like, even if they're playing good, you're probably not going to win a 1v4.
But like, at that point, right? I still enjoy shitting on bad players.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. Like, even I ended the half on like 5-11, but I was like, this is fun. Like, I'm not gonna get into this game because I it's not my cup of tea. It's the same with CS. Like, I'd get bored of it after 5 games. But I was sitting there like, even though I'm like double negged, like, I'm still enjoying this because it felt like I'd done something. Because my idea going into it was, I don't want to I don't want to frag out because I'm not coming in here to frag out. I'm picking Sage, for Christ's sake. I didn't come here to frag out. I just want to like try and help the team, because as a support player in Overwatch, that's generally what I do. I'd like just try my best to kind of support people, and like I would rather finish a game with 5 kills and 50 assists than like 20 kills and 2 assists. Like, I'd much rather backpack other people by like covering every base other than what's in front of them.
Yeah, and that's
And I feel like I did that. Aside from the round where I walled my Reyna into 4 people, I feel like I helped the team.
What the fuck?
What I tried to do was they were pushing. I was on what's the map? It's.
Do you know, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you try and figure it out yourself.
Is it like Aspect or something?
Ascent.
That's what it is. Ascent.
Sounds like you're learning English.
Yeah, I was defending B. They were pushing CIRCE.
Sewers?
Yeah.
What?
On Ascent?
On this?
You mean Haven? You mean Haven?
No, Ascent. What's the one where it's like the box with the alt point on it? It's
they all have alt points.
That's Bind.
Okay. No. Do you know the site where you can close the door?
Ascent, yeah.
Yeah.
They've both got doors. Both sites have doors.
Okay. What? It's like the site that doesn't have heaven. The other one.
B, yeah, right. Yeah, so the one
what do you call the main corridor to be?
The main corridor is just B main.
I just guessed because it looks like a sewer.
How does it look like a sewer? It's got bricks and
it's got puddles everywhere. There's like it's puddles.
See, this is what look. I play low settings everything, so I don't see all of this stuff that other people see.
I didn't know what it was called, so I just guessed. All right, I feel like somebody called it sewers in the game though.
I'm still confused as to which map you mean.
Okay, no, I mean Ascent. You know, Khalyx, you know how there's two defending sites on Ascent. One has heaven and one does not.
One has it's rafters, but one has heaven and hell, right? And it's got like the generator on the site with a door that you can open and close.
Yeah, I mean the other one.
Yeah, he means the other site on that map.
Yeah,
so right. The boathouse.
So
I was there. It's irrelevant. This is all right. My Reyna was peeking B main. I heard 3 of them running up. My Reyna got brought to half health. I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna she's gonna peek back and I'm gonna wall it off so we have time to rotate. Listen. She peeked back, so she ran away, but then she ran back in. She took a good 5 steps back to site. She was physically facing the opposite direction, and then she just did a 180 and walked back in while the wall was going up. I'm like, is that my fault? Am I the idiot here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if she was baiting a swing, pretending that she ran away and baiting them into swinging. I don't know what she was doing, but I was just I feel bad, but I feel like that was your fault.
But I might have to tell Ghost to get these strats going in a script.
honestly, is there replay codes in Valorant?
No. I wish there was.
I was gonna say, if I could show you that fucking game, honest to God, you would be in tears.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I did.
Wasn't it like that? Even now, spectating a Valorant is still rubbish.
No, the spectating is really good actually. The client for the pro games have got a lot better spectator. Okay. Every single patch, every 2 weeks, there is spectator updates.
Wow.
That's one thing I'm really happy with the game. They've actually updated every 2 weeks without fail, and they've actually made good adjustments to the game. The balance is so good right now. There's not a single agent that isn't powerful in certain scenarios. If you use them properly, they're good.
Isn't Viper supposedly really, really bad?
No, but she's really good if a team knows how to use her. She's used by one of the best EU teams at the minute on Bind, and she's really fucking good on Bind, and she's really good on Icebox as well. And a lot of teams are some teams are playing her, but it's more of a pocket pick, and I hope she stays that way because she's not a staple pick. I don't think she should be, but she's really interesting when teams do play her. She's more of a niche pick, right? And I think that's a good thing.
One thing I wanted to discuss or wanted to hear more, because I'm not a CS or Valorant crackhead like you, is to hear from an actual person that plays Valorant and CS. What do you think about Pika's advantage? Is it in Valorant better than in CS, or the other way around? Or
the reason it feels probably just as bad in Valorant to me personally is it's not because of Pika's advantage or ping. Actually, I think it's kind of irrelevant. Actually, I don't think. I think holding an angle in Valorant is really hard because compared to CS as well, because there's no head glitch angles at all. I tweeted about this the other day actually, and I said, I think someone was complaining that it feels really hard to hold angles in Valorant, and it's because there's so much utility, and because every single angle that you hold, pretty much, you're exposing your whole body. Whereas like in CS, like there's a lot of head glitch angles. Like you're just going to be showing your head, or and you can like duck behind cover, or you're just going to be showing like just the side of your body, right? It doesn't really happen like that in Valorant. And once you get tagged, like you're just slowed. You're stopped instantly, pretty much. Yeah. So you get like punished a lot more for like positioning mistakes, I feel like.
But like, how do you hold angles then? You just full smoke, or what's going
on? It kind of depends. So like, if we're talking about like CT side and we're holding, or like defenders and we're holding, like you're holding a lot with your teammates more and holding crossfires and playing off utility more than just holding. Like I'd say like off angles are really strong, especially with like Jet and Reyna.
Okay.
Because you can play like a really weird angle that no one expects, get a kill and get out. Obviously dash and dismiss. Like it's just you get free kills if you do that. But I think off angles in general are pretty strong in the game because people are like a lot better at pre-aiming. I think the mechanics in Valorant are easier than in CS.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah.
But the team play it's way more in depth. There's way more team play and there's way more like possibilities for things. In CS, every round is a default pretty much. Everyone just holds towards the map on T side and they just it's not boring. Like it's still really fun to watch. I still love watching the pro scene in CS. Like I'm doing like a fantasy draft with friends at the minute.
That's what I always felt like. Is I loved watching CS and Valorant. Like I loved watching the pros play it and understanding how things would work. But playing it, I just always felt like it was okay. You miss one shot, and now you're playing Spectate Simulator for half an hour.
Sure, yeah.
I miss one shot and play Spectate Simulator for half an hour. Fucking back in the day when I used to play Rainbow Six, you die to a spawn peak, you spectate for 3 minutes, then you have to do another 3-minute character selection.
Wow. Yeah.
I never really. I played it a little bit, and I couldn't really get into it. I don't know.
You know, I sunk time into that game. Like I loved Siege for like the first few years.
True, I remember you just grinding hard. Yeah.
And that was back on console, and then I came to PC, and as much as I was like still playing Overwatch, I ended up picking up Siege again with my friends. I was just playing it, and it was so good, but it I feel like fell victim to the same problem that a lot of games fall victim to, which luckily CS and Valorant haven't, which is kind of like community pressure. So like the community pressure for Siege was like, oh, we want this, we want this, we want this. And they ended up starting to do it. And the pros were like, what? Why? Why have you done this? This is just like, this has ruined the pro scene. But I think that with games now, I think it's starting to become a bit less problematic, which is helpful because it means that you can kind of dedicate yourself more to the game without, having to run the risk of like, am I going to get bored of this in a couple of years?
What do you mean by like community pressure?
Well, there were a couple of changes that happened in Siege that just felt like they were aimed at a specific audience. Like, and I actually feel like they kind of swung the opposite direction to what Overwatch did, because like everybody makes the point of Overwatch catering to casuals, right? And like there are a good few games on the market that are like catering to casuals. Siege was the opposite. So for a while, Siege was just like pro players. So if you weren't a pro player, you pretty much they didn't matter to you, or you didn't matter to them. Sorry, in regards of balance. So there were operators that just went pretty much unused for years and years and years, but because it was like, well, we can't like Tachanka is the prime example. Tachanka was a meme.
Oh, I remember that.
I have no idea.
Tachanka is pretty much imagine Torbjorn on release, like useless beyond useless. He was a meme, right? And a meme is funny for a couple of months, not for 4 years. They left him in a state of a less than 5% pick rate across all competitive seasons and all ranked play. Less than 5%. Even out of a roster of 10 characters, he had a less than 5% pick rate for 4 years.
And then just they overbuffed him, right?
No, they didn't overbuff him. They reworked him. And the rework was too strong. But that's a different story. It's like they were like, there's no way we can make this viable in competitive play. Fuck it, just leave him to die. And it was and Tachanka wasn't the only one. It's just Tachanka was the biggest one. There were other characters that were just kind of left out. Like Caviera was a big one. Caviera was really good on release, and people were like, "This is OP." So Ubisoft were like, "All right, nerf. She's a bit more in line now. Nerf. Okay, this is excessive. Nerf. If you're playing or you're throwing, and she's still in that state. You pretty much can't. If you ever see Caviera in pro play, they're trolling. Like, you pretty much just can't play the character now, because her entire thing is that she makes no footsteps, and she can, Khalyx, you know Cypher's ult? Her thing is pretty much that, where if you down a character, you can interrogate them and get locations, right?
Okay.
But with Siege, every wall is paper thin. So you have to catch someone on their own, which is hard, win your 1v1, which is hard, interrogate them without dying, and then follow up on that. Yeah. That is 4 things that are pretty much impossible in ranked play, let alone in fucking competitive play. So again, they just left her to die. She's still in an awful state. You pretty much can't play her in any rank above like silver, because the second you down someone, bullets come flying through every surface, through the floor, through the ceiling, through every wall, grenades, flashbangs.
Swiss cheese!
It's genuinely a good tactic to shoot through your down teammate, because you know Caviera's on the other side of their body. Collaterally, your teammate to kill the Caviera is value. Like, that is the definition of a per character design. And not to mention, they added a bunch of different counters for her, like people that can detect you when you move, and people that can see your footsteps, and things like that. It's just...
Your phone vibrates and starts playing noise.
Yeah,
and
like your ringtone goes off on like your Nokia 310.
Imagine that on a SWAT team though. Some dude has his phone in his pocket and about to breach, and then his girlfriend calls. Be like, "Can you pick up some milk on the way back?"
Mom.
But from what I've heard, I've not played Siege at all. But what a lot of people are saying is that Siege is like really aim unreliant. Is that true?
I think it got worse, right?
Yes, it's very aim unreliant, but not because it's like, a lot of more ability based games nowadays. It's not like you can swing a corner with some like special gadget and mow 3 people down.
No, but it's because you're scoped into their soul or something.
It's because it's not aim reliant, because it's so easy to outplay someone in that game. Like, even a tiny, minute difference in game knowledge is pretty much guaranteed death.
Yeah.
Like, there are 90 angles that I don't know about, and I have 4 years of experience on one map. Like, I guarantee you I could load in with 5 different people, and they could all show me something I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so ridiculous how easy it is to be shot in the back, or shot through a wall, or blown up, or flanked, or pinched, or crossfired, or anything in that game, because of just how like diverse it is. That you do need to be good at aiming. Like, obviously a 500-meter angle where you see 3 pixels of their left testicle is not going to be helpful if you miss, right? Like, it's not going to be helpful if you don't hit your shots. But at the same time, you don't need to be like god levels of aim to win against god tier players.
That'd be an interesting posture though, if you could only see 3 pixels of the left testicle. Imagine the angles that somebody had to stand.
Surprised, Khalyx.
What do you mean?
Very surprised.
It actually happens, right? Because you're like, you hold through like a fucking tiny hole in a wall, and you're like,
yeah, like there's like you're playing under. So one of the main sites on one of the main maps, the best way to hold it is to put a couple of gadgets down in the main room, right? Go upstairs and just blow the floor to bits. So you're just standing upstairs, just looking through the floor into the objective room. Can you imagine holding a site on a CS map by going to the second floor?
And look it up. You've got to look up at the ceiling when you're fucking taking the site. You're like, oh shit!
Exactly. So if you jump into a window on site on Siege, you're not like looking like at pre-aimed head angles. You look drunk. You're just staring at the ceiling. It looks like your mouse has died. Like, it's such a weird experience, and it's good as much as it's bad. And it was it's why I played the game. Like, tying it all back in, it's why I loved playing the game, because it wasn't CS. It wasn't swing a corner and 1v1. It was, I'm standing behind you, looking through a hole in the wall while you're looking at a camera that I placed 5 minutes ago that's flashing blue. Boom, you're dead. Like,
that was what... get that image out of my head. How frustrating must that be for new players that are like, okay, I've played like 200 hours of CS. I'm gonna have a bang at this game because it's also like, you know, breach and bomb site, and then you like you just hop a window and you get like shredded from just above you. Just because there's some fucker in the floor above you.
You think that's bad? Imagine jumping in a window and having the floor explode by a guy using a red, like a, what's it called? An infrared sensor? Yeah, looking through the floor, knowing that you jump in the window and blowing up an explosive that you physically couldn't stop. Like, it's crazy.
God. So disencouraging for new players. And for, I mean, I don't know.
I can't imagine playing that game as a new player.
I would. Yeah, as much as I love Siege, I would never recommend it to anybody that's never touched it before.
I think that's like, that's got to be one of the worst games for a new player, right? Like, it has to be.
Yeah, Siege and like MOBAs, I feel like, are some of the worst. Because like I struggle in Siege, like I get slapped about.
We're all like FPS players here. I know that, but like I find League of Legends so incredibly disencouraging to try out.
I started playing it recently. It's not that hard to get used to.
Really? Because the only thing that I know about it is that you have like 80 different legends.
Well, it's 150, but...
Oh, well, there you go.
So you're quite a bit off. But I got into that recently, actually. I started playing like with a few mates. I've never wanted to play a MOBA in my life. Like, I look at them and I have no idea what's going on. But actually, it's really simple. Obviously, the hard thing is then getting good at a legend and a champ, and you're just like, that's when it. I think like the skill difference is ridiculous in that game. Like, you have no idea what this other champ's doing. Like, I've just been fucking sliced in half, and I don't know, like this fucking Hanzo looking ass guy's just decided to throw a tornado at me, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
like that because there is 150 different champs. It's like
the knowledge you have to have to be able to.
You have to have a lot of knowledge, and then there's the whole like the buys and like what's the best setup to buy against certain champs, and then you've got to like it's there's a lot to know about it, but like I think playing it as a base game and like somewhat casually is all right. Like, it's quite easy to get used to.
I'm in the exact same boat, like identical pretty much.
Yeah,
I've been playing. I'm about 200 hours deep now into Dota 2 with a bunch of my friends. So like, as much as you like Valorant, I don't. It's the same with League. Like I played 2 matches of League, and they've tilted me more than all of Overwatch has combined. So I was just like, no. But I'm a good 200 hours deep into Dota, and yeah, it's the exact same experience. Like,
but I think that, you know, Overwatch is going that way as well. Whereas you have to have such a deep and just a deep understanding of the game and what every character does in order to perform. in order to perform, that it's like really difficult to get into. Like, compared to at launch, where it was like, okay, you have 20 something heroes and here's the categories that they're in, and it's like, okay, you want to play the blah, blah, blah. Then compared to now, I feel like
at least it's like an FPS, right? Like, anyone from like an FPS background could probably like, pick it up and start playing it.
At least with Soldier,
I think Overwatch is definitely a lot more forgiving. Like, I don't think it's nearly as hard as like a lot of other games, because as much as like Overwatch is complex in its like kind of builds, at the end of the day, like a new player can pretty much get away with anything. Like, if you want to play Junkrat and you want to walk straight down the middle of the map, if you're in a bronze lobby, you're probably going to be allowed to do that. Like, it's more about, I think Overwatch is a lot harder to improve, not necessarily because you need a lot of knowledge. I think it's more just like community pressure. As in, if you load into a ranked game in gold and you don't pick what's good, like if you load into a gold ranked game and you insta-lock
Bastion
or Symmetra, right? You're going to get flamed. Because people are automatically going to be like, why are you playing Bastion? Bastion's a terrible hero. But you don't know that.
But on the other hand, like that's happened in Masters lobbies as well, where somebody was like, don't play Brig, she's not good. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Mate, I'm of the opinion now, after playing Overwatch, after playing Valorant, after playing CS, like, obviously CS doesn't really matter because there's not, I guess the weapons, but like there's not really a meta, as best to say, right? Like, but in Overwatch and in Valorant so far, it doesn't matter what you pick as long as you fucking play well on it. Like, in ranked anyway, I don't think it matters. Like, it genuinely doesn't.
Yeah, in ranked probably.
Obviously, there's advantages to going with like a meta comp. Obviously in Overwatch, I think it's more so than Valorant, especially because you can kind of play anything at the minute in Valorant. But like,
it's not as bad as it used to be in Overwatch.
Yeah, but least, like, I feel like you can play anything and you'll probably win. Like, unless like obviously when there wasn't Rollock, I still don't like Rollock personally, but like even when there wasn't Rollock, even when there wasn't Rollock, like the only thing you'd have to worry about is like everyone picking DPS. You're probably not going to be able to win a game if you're 6 DPS. But like,
I think Overwatch is more about cohesion than like in meta out meta. Like you can play Ryan Zarya, you can play Roadhog Orisa, like you can play whatever you want as long as they're actually cohesive. I'm sure it'll be fine.
And like you're playing your hero to your strengths, right?
Yeah, like it doesn't matter if the hero's good or bad. The two things that matter is, does your hero work well with your team, regardless of its current state, and are you good?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And even if you've only met one of those criteria, you're probably going to do at least okay.
Yeah. Also, like picks that are very like niche and like not meta, right? Most of the time, I think there's a reason like One Tricks managed to get like such high win rates, and it's because people don't know what to do when someone is playing well on that character. Like they have no idea what to do because they've never played against it before. It's like, what am I doing against this? Like I have no idea what to do. Like things that are like niche as well. I think that's why like I started watching like League, like esports and stuff, and like sometimes a pick will come out that's like it really shouldn't happen. Like it's a weak pick technically, but like they pick it on purpose to like they're playing it in the wrong lane. They're playing it like in a completely different way to how it's normally supposed to be played. It's not meta at all, and then they just decide like, you know what, it's going to be good against this one thing that this other team wants to play, so we're going to do it, and then it's just going to fuck it up. Like, and I think that's really cool, and I think in every game that has like characters, champs, whatever, right? I think there should be niche characters. I don't think the developers should strive for everything needs to be perfectly balanced. I hate that. I actually think that is the worst way of thinking of it, because then you're going to make the characters that should be niche OP as anything. Like, do you remember that 1 week they buffed Bastion to like, when was it? It was like season 4 or something. Season 5. It was a long time ago. And they buffed him for a week, and I cannot remember what the buffs were for the life of me. But they were ridiculous. Like, I think it was his damage reduction in turret form. It was, like, ridiculous. It was, like, 50%.
Yeah, I remember.
And he could not die. He would not die, ever. Like,
they also give him the ability to self-heal and move at the same time. Because back in the day, you used to have to stand still to heal.
Yeah, and then they buffed him, like, ridiculously for a week. And he was just mental. He was so overpowered, like when that first happened, and it's because he's meant to be a niche pick in the first place, and then they just try to make him meta.
You missed at a big time frame where the exact same thing happened with Genji, where they gave Genji a straight buff, and he was like, I like Genji. I feel like he should have gotten he got a bit more punishment than he deserved, but that Genji was broken. Like that was ridiculous.
You mean during double shield Genji?
Yes, like Sparkle on King's Row 59 limbs Genji.
God, yeah.
What did they do to him then? Because I quit like 2 months.
It was his right click fire rate. You could literally right click at like 0.5 seconds.
So they make him easier to play as well.
Yeah, they pretty much gave him like a 30 or 40% increase in right click fire rate, and also give him a bit more damage. They upped his shuriken damage by like 2
this is what I mean with
and they made deflect cancelable.
That stayed. That was a change. It shouldn't have been a change. That should have been a base game thing.
Yeah, I know. But that was also a thing that made him so strong, and I think that is what makes him strong now compared to pre-buff.
The problem with deflect before that sounds ridiculous. Like that sounds like the biggest part of the buff to me. Like the fact that he can
cancel it.
Like that
That was really big because then it meant you didn't have to like wait out the animation unless you had.
You're locked into it, right? And
because that made it also really easy to time the cooldown. Yeah. Right? If Genji was using deflect to as like defensively, right? Then you would just you at some point when you're playing Widowmaker, for example, you just have the 1.5 seconds.
The timing
in, and it's like okay, 3, 2, like boom, and then it's like yeah,
and then like. Obviously, like when you're like deflecting one thing, but then they've got like something that can shoot through deflect, you're locked into it and you're fucked, right? You, if you don't have dash, you can't cancel it.
Yeah.
I mean, like you had to be really good. You could like do things like wall climb cancels and like
of course, but
do other things. But yeah, for the general populace, for like the 99% of Genji players,
yeah. I've got a question for you guys, since we're talking about FPS and whatnot so much, and we've touched down on MOBAs as well. I actually come from a completely different genre of games. Like the first games I played was something completely different. Could you guess what it is?
Quake.
It's also FPS.
Oh yeah. Okay, hang on. God knows.
Khalyx was actually a Farmville player before he picked up Overwatch.
A what?
A farm. Do you know what
Farmville
is?
I know, but I played Heyday with my sister on my iPad back then. But no, it's something different.
Temple Run.
No.
I know the answer to this question, so I'm not speaking.
You do?
You've told me this multiple times.
Have I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll give Mace one more go, and then I'll say
it.
It.
I'll go with what Elshai said. StarCraft.
No.
Okay.
Did you not say you were a TF2 player?
No, genre, a different genre. That's also.
You just said it's an FPS. How could it be a different genre from like TF2?
No. I said that we've been talking about FPS for so long, but
you said it was still an FPS. I was like,
no.
It means something that isn't an FPS or a MOBA.
Yeah.
I feel like you have told me this. I feel like you have told me this.
The first like video games that I really enjoyed were racing games.
I was about to say it was either racing games or card games, but I
used to play racing games loads as well.
I loved racing games. I loved Need for Speed. The franchise was amazing.
Gran Turismo on the original PlayStation.
I never played that. But it was always I remember in 2010 something or 11 Need for Speed World came out, and that was basically GTA just without people, just with cars.
Yeah.
Right. So you could drive around a huge map. You could do certain races. You could do PvP, PvE, whatnot. It was amazing, and I played so much of that. I had a sick car and everything. It was great. And then 2014, they shut down the servers.
Oh, Pepe hands.
That was so painful. Yeah. Anyway, so much for that.
I'm a purebred. I've been playing Halo. I've been playing Halo since before I knew what a curse word was. Like I've been teabagging people since single digits.
Halo 3 was my first FPS, I think.
Yeah, I played Halo. I never owned Halo 2, but I played Halo 2. First FPS I owned was Halo 3.
Yeah, same for me. And then it was Reach.
What's that?
Did you skip ODST?
Yep.
Oh, you filth. ODST was great. It was underwhelming, but it was good. Do you not know what Halo is, Khalyx?
I know what Halo is. I don't know what ODST is.
Okay, so ODST was pretty much ODST. It was like a mini game that they did where it wasn't.
It was also Halo.
Yeah, it was Halo ODST, but it was there was no multiplayer. It was it was the firefight, which was horde mode, and then it was just another campaign. It was like a smaller game.
Okay.
And then Halo Reach as well. Yeah, it's another Halo game.
Reach was fun. Like Reach was like the breach between casual and competitive as well. Like they put like I don't know, the Forge stuff was really nice. And
I'm gonna say something. We are getting very, very close to the end, but I do want to say something that might annoy Mace and might annoy any other people that play Halo. I don't like Reach. I don't like it. I didn't like how it felt. I think it was the armor abilities and like the new weapons. I just didn't really like them. I didn't like armor lock, and I didn't like sprinting. I feel like that was my main thing, because it was like, I don't know. Halo always felt like very methodical, especially since you need to put a mag into somebody just to break their shield. Like,
oh my god.
So having the ability to either make yourself invincible or fly around a corner, I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, power to you, I guess. Some people are wrong.
I'll accept that.
I've always felt like, especially since with every game that I've played, half a decent amount. So TF2 first, then Overwatch, and then Apex. Specifically those three, right? That they've all new content I've always disliked the new content for some reason. I'm conservative on that front for some reason. The only map I like in Apex is King's Canyon. I don't like any other map. I don't like the new weapons. I don't like the balances that they've given to the old weapons. And in Overwatch, it's like I dislike the majority of the new heroes. I think release Overwatch or close to release Overwatch, like post Ana Overwatch,
probably like season 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not talking about Monkey, Lucio, Tracer, are you?
No, I actually saw a ridiculous clip on Twitter of 6 monkeys leaping over a choke. That was amazing. I'll send that to you later. But the evolution of the games that I've played, as I've always disliked for some reason. In TF2, there was an update that was called the Gunmetal update, and that just brought a bunch of new items. It brought skins to TF2, which was something the community had made fun of CS for a long time. It's like, oh, look, they have skins, and then we have hats, and it was always this, back and forth, whatever. And I always felt like the evolution was always something that was going to kill games, and I feel like that's what happened with Overwatch as well for some reason.
I think it genuinely did happen with Overwatch. That was one of the examples where a lot of the hero releases were steering the game in a way that was like, the character was like either the hero was really easy, and also provided a lot of value.
Yeah.
So like Briggs, your Moira, right?
Yeah.
They're ridiculously easy to play. They're just, I don't know. It frustrates me how easy they are. The game has been out for what, 2.5 years at that point? Well, no. Moira was a little bit earlier, right? To maybe a year and a half.
Moira was about the 2-year mark, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and then Brig was 2.5 year mark, something like that.
I think it's the other way around. Whatever.
I can't remember, but
Brig came before Moira. That's all I know.
Did she?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't think she did. No, it was Ana, Sombra, Moira, right? And then Orisa.
No. I really don't think so.
I know that Moira was introduced at the second Overwatch World Cup.
Moira was before Brig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, it was.
Also, it's not Ana, Sombra, Moira. You're missing Orisa and Doom in that time frame.
But Doom was fucking hell. I can't remember.
I'm looking at it now. It's Ana, Sombra, Orisa, Doom, Moira, Brig, Ball, Ashe, Bap.
Oh my god, they went Moira then Brig. Oh my god.
To be fair, Moira was November, Brig was March, so it wasn't a massive time jump.
And do you remember leading up to Brig release, the hype of a new character, and then she came out and was like, "Oh god,
what have we done?"
Yeah.
You've actually just spat in everyone's face. It frustrates me because it's everyone, most of the people that have this game are hardcore fans that have played since release for the most part, right? Obviously, there's going to be new players, but why would you start making things easier? That's what I don't understand. You make really well designed heroes like Tracer at the start, and Genji, and characters that are even Ryan Monkey, right? Monkey is such a hard character to play. I think he's the hardest character to master in Overwatch to this day, and he's so hard to play because he's so hard to get good value out of in terms of you're either feeding or you're I don't know. I think he's a really well designed character too, and I just think a lot of the original ones were, and they're not easy. Even though obviously, I don't know.
I also felt like that, with including Ana and Sombra, and Orisa probably as well. I think those 3 were characters that were based around the original release of Overwatch as well, to tie in that were left out at the beginning and then released. You know what I mean? And everything beyond that was we need something new, and then just put on top of that
That's why some of the earlier maps as well, like some maps you don't even realize weren't in the base game. Like it took me a good while to realize Eichenwald is a new map. Like Eichenwald wasn't in the base game.
Oh yeah.
Oasis wasn't in the base game.
Oh, Oasis is such a good map though.
Yeah. Oasis is 50-50.
I love Oasis.
City Center can go fuck itself. The other two are fine.
Yeah.
I hate City Center.
I've always like leaned towards like all of the control point, like
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, like they've always. I think they're the best maps. Like all of them, just I don't know.
Because it gives you breathing room. It's not fight.
Yeah, you have time
fight,
between
end of round,
yeah.
fight, end of round, fight, end of round.
And like you always have the most intense fights on those maps as well.
True.
Like the continuous, like I just remember those maps in Goats. I don't care. Like they're the most fun things ever. Like scrims on King of the Hill maps in Goats meta are.
It was just full send, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Like
but also DPS impact, I feel like, is the highest on King of the Hill as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 100%.
And you don't feel cheated either by like 9,000 people pouring out of the spawn room just over and over and over and over and over to contest.
Yeah.
And then there's you don't have the issue of like it's really hard to like come out of spawn in some scenarios, like on other maps where like you just can't. You feel like you have no breathing room. Like they're playing cart and they're playing close to you, right? I think what fucking map is it? It was the one that was is it Havana? The one
Havana, yeah.
Like
yeah.
I feel like it's really weird. Like some parts of the map are really good, and then some parts are just like, how am I like if you get stopped with cart on second point and the cart stops in the main choke and the doors close, it's so hard to do anything. Like on attack. I feel like it's so hard to get the cart.
There are I feel like that was always the case on Gibraltar. It's like either you push either you win first point and then you take spaceship immediately and then win off of that.
Just snowball the whole map.
Yeah, and to third point at least. Or it's like you just get held second point. Like one of the two I always felt like.
I felt like I feel like people were rarely held at second on Gibraltar, which is weird to me. It's like it depends on how far you get. It depends how much you snowball, like how many like late kills you get, right? If you kill people late as they're coming out of spawns, then it's just like it's over.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's probably a good point to pull the plug and call it off.
We're getting too much into last time's topic.
Well, it's because inherently at heart we can't help but complain about Overwatch.
True.
And I haven't played for a year and a half, and I still like.
I will be in my 40s complaining about how I don't like all.
Back in my day.
At that point, it's like Overwatch 23.
No, at that point it'll be Overwatch 3 based on the fucking schedule. Anyways,
well,
so thank you for being here, Mace. I appreciate it.
Good talking to you.
It was a nice insight into kind of a bit more of a kind of, what's it called? Like a second opinion on like, you know, why you play games and like what the kind of things you do is and like how you enjoy certain things. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
maybe we'll have you on again sometime in the future if we're running out of ideas. What? Anyways, thank you for being here. Thank you as well, Khalyx, for appearing as always. And
of course. Anything.
Thank you for everybody who's watched, whether you've tuned in 2 minutes ago and you're like, what, it's over already? Oh, for God's sake. Or whether you've been here from the start. We appreciate you being here. And we'll hopefully see you sometime in the next few weeks with something similar to this. So
with round 3.
Round 3. Don't. No, we will stop complaining about Overwatch at some point. The next podcast will be titled "The Anti-Overwatch Cast." Right?
We'll make it a fashion podcast.
To be honest, you could rename this one to that. I think, and it would probably do the
job.
job.
Just talk about food.
Get me in for that one.
I would love that. Anyway,
all right.
Thank you everybody for watching, and have a good rest of your day.
Yep.